class of 2020, teachers, family, and friends. I'm humbled to have the opportunity to stand before you all today as we celebrate the culmination of all our hard work and accomplishments in these 4 years. Having been a student here at APA for the past 10 years, it was difficult to find one topic to speak on that sums up everything we've experienced during our time as students at American Prep. As I reflected on my high school memories, a few things came to mind. I thought of the crowded hallways, Mr. Peterson's overly detailed stories during assemblies, the stress of homework, especially from that one teacher, and of course the really loud and crazy dynamic of a high school cafeteria. But what stands out the most to me are the core values that American Prep Academy has instilled in our hearts. These include gratitude, enthusiasm, integrity, kigatsuku, and many more. I believe these values are best summed up in the Builder's Poem. We've recited this poem at every school assembly and event, and I feel at this point the words are forever engraved in our brains. It talks about the two different roles we can take on in our lives. To sum it up in a few words, you can be a wrecker, someone who tears others down, or you can be a builder, a person that works hard to bring about positive change. I think we can all agree that today the world is in need of more builders. The reality is that there are, and there will always be, many who choose to take on the role of a wrecker. Today there is so much talk about worsening issues, and we constantly hear about different solutions and opposing opinions. It can be very confusing. I like to believe that the reason we haven't seen much improvement is because we are yet to see the effect of our future contributions. We must be the generation to bring about change. And I don't mean that every one of us has to stop climate change, cure some rare disease, or do something that shakes the face of the earth, but I am certain that in some way or another, each one of us will make the world a better place. Now, I wrote that back in December without the slightest clue of how our senior year would end, and although my perspective on many things has evolved since then, there is one thing that has remained solid. I know that the class of 2020 is special. Not just the seniors at my high school, but every senior who is living this unique experience. I know that this class will bring about some of the brightest minds that the world has ever seen. We are so fast-paced and innovative. Maybe that's why our class had to be the one to go through this, to give us the opportunity to take a breather and just observe. Observe the great examples that the adults around us are setting, the healthcare workers, the parents, our teachers. Observe the way that at an instant, the things we love can be taken away from us, and learn to not take anything or any moment for granted. To humble us and teach us that no matter how great we think we are not exempt from experiencing hard times. To teach us how to find joy in even the darkest moments, to hold on to hope when things become uncertain, and to approach things with an open mind, despite how foreign it may feel. I know it may seem difficult to remain inspired and positive. You might think, what was the point of all this if we didn't even get the recognition and ending that we'd expected? But trust me, our hard work has not gone unnoticed. We will get the recognition we deserve, and we will go on to make tons of amazing memories to make up for the lost ones. These past 4 years have been anything but a waste of time, and we just have to realize that sometimes we have to let go of what we think should have happened and start focusing on what is happening. So this goes out to all who played some role in helping us become the people that we are today. Those who maybe did not have the opportunity to pursue higher education or live out their dreams, but have done everything possible to ensure that we have the opportunity to pursue our dreams, and that in itself is a huge accomplishment. So to all of you, I wish to express our gratitude. To my parents, les quiero mucho, and I want you all to know that you have fostered the future change makers and groundbreakers. And now to all those who would be standing behind me, thank you. Though I am sure we can attribute a lot of our success to the influence of others, it is always important to thank yourself. If you look back on these 4 years, and especially to these past couple of months, it was your desire and hard work that has gotten you to this point. In the end, none of this would have been possible if you had not continued pushing. So once again, congratulations, class of 2020. We did it!
Good evening, class of 2020. This is a bittersweet moment in our lives because it marks the end of something great but the beginning of something completely different and exciting. Throughout this year alone, we have all gone through different changes. We have all experienced joy, laughter, stress, a lot of that, and multiple obstacles. Through high school, we have grown together, and sadly, as we move our tassels right to left, we will have to say goodbye to some of the people we have grown to love over the years. American Preparatory Academy has taught us several important lessons that we will remember forever. One thing all APA students know by heart is the Builder's Poem. Our student body has been something that we have all been slowly building as the builders we are. We are soon to be high school graduates, and we will show the world exactly what has been built here at APA. Our senior motto this year is don't just fly, soar. And now is our time to spread our wings and soar, to strive for greatness and fulfill what we set out to do, to not settle for just okay, to go to infinity and beyond, like Buzz. Overall, class of 2020 has been one of the strongest classes in American prep so far. From students who excel in the classroom to the dedicated athletes, talented dancers and musicians, and the gifted actors and artists. In the past few months, we have been tested on our strength. We were all challenged to adapt to different situations due to COVID-19. Some struggled while others prospered, but we did it together. We have been looking forward to our senior year for 12 years, and in weeks, the moments we were looking forward to were taken from us. Many of us lost our chance to shine on the field, to play and dance in our final concert. Instead of ditch day, we got ditch months, and we were involved in an unintentional senior prank. We looked forward to our last prom, our last goodbye, and we feared that the graduation ceremony would be stripped from us as well. But here we are, persevering and never giving up. I know that wherever we end up, we will be a positive force and blessing for those we meet. I want to take a moment now to thank the staff and teachers for their hard work and for having to deal with us for all these years. We would not be here today if it weren't for them, and we will never forget the roles you've had in our lives. I also want to thank the parents and families because without all their dedication and hard work, many of us would not be watching today. Thank you guys for paying for our uniforms, the school fees, the beloved Saturday school, but most of all, thank you for being the reason we have all been able to grow together as a class. So students, today we finish one chapter of our book and turn the page to welcome the future, one that we are able to write. So wherever these next chapters may lead us, good luck and thank you.
Good afternoon, class of 2020. As we move on with our lives, we will always be linked to this place known as American Preparatory Academy. A few might say good riddance, but in many ways there will be many things that we will miss. Mr. Peterson's stories, mile runs, assemblies, the crowded hallways during transition, and last of all, the teachers and staff who have always pushed us to our limits. For the last 9 years that I've been at this school, I have never seen such a group of students, so strong, so open, and so caring. This is what gives me hope, and a glimpse into a brighter future for all of us. In an age where issues constantly strike our society, we have to be the change, and the ones to persevere in conquering these obstacles. Unprecedented events have prevented us from spending our last few moments together and invoked new hardships at home during the quarantine time. To remind ourselves of our value and self-worth, I would like everyone, especially the seniors, to say, I'm good enough. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm good enough. This simple phrase may seem silly to say, but sometimes we need a reminder. We need a reminder that we are good enough, and we will get through this together. No matter how low you get, the only direction you can go is up. In one way or another, we transform into different individuals. I'm not talking about Pokemon evolutions or Power Rangers morphing, but rather the transformation from kids to almost adults. Note the emphasis on almost adults. I know that many of us are worried about responsibility and having to act like an adult, but who said you have to lose the sight of kids we once were, and in some ways still are? I'm not saying that we shouldn't act mature or adult-like, but rather we shouldn't forget what made us who we are, or what it's like to be a child. This is the only way we can truly stay sane and to survive the hardships and stress of the everyday world. As Walt Disney once said, too many people grow up, that's the real trouble with the world. Too many people grow up, they forget. They don't remember what it's like to be a 12-year-old. For the little time we have in this world, we have to enjoy every moment we can. After summer break, we are going to enter a whole new world that we may deem as difficult and hard to acclimate to. That's okay. Just like how we got through the labyrinth we call high school together, we can still do the same even if we're apart. On this momentous ceremony known as graduation, it is a celebration of how far we've gone, but it also acts as a rite of passage to a new beginning and a start to a real adventure. Life is full of possibilities and mystery, but as Dory would say, just keep swimming. Class of 2020, congratulations on making it this far and good luck on wherever life takes you.